So good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our Employer Portal training session. My name is Bill Hurley, and I'm a team lead with Employer Services, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. So now I'm going to hand it over to Sandy to begin today's session.
Thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our first training session on the Employer Portal. My name is Sandy Cook, and I'm the Manager of Employer Services. Deepak Patel and Christine Wajira, Pension Analysts with the Employer Services team, and Marcia Patterson, a Pension Analyst with our Quality Assurance team, will be presenting today. We are very excited to share some of the features that will be part of our Phase 1 rollout of the Employer Portal with you. We are walking you through some examples from our testing environment. This is our first release, and we are continuing to make improvements as we go along. We welcome any feedback you may have. If you have any questions after we go live on January 4th, please reach out to your employer pension analyst. We will start by providing you with details on how to access and log in, and then we will go over how to navigate your way around the portal. We will provide an overview of the dashboard and how to find a member, and then we will review the steps that will be required to enroll a member using the portal, and we will finish with a live demo. Before I turn it over to Christine, let's look at our portal timeline. As we mentioned in the employer update, we will be providing you with more information on the employer and member portals over the next several weeks. We are at the December 10th training session on the timeline, and here you can see the next steps. Tomorrow is the deadline for employers to provide us with their list of portal users. Please ensure that you have sent this list to your employer PA. The next event is Go Live on January 4th, and we have additional training sessions on the member portal and the employer portal following the Go Live date. On January 28th, we'll be holding a webinar to answer any questions you may have and get your feedback on your portal experience. Here is the timeline for the member portal. You will receive a pass-along email from us, and we would like you to send it on to your members. We will also send a schedule of when the portal will be available. The member portal will go live on January 25th with access provided to our employer contacts and trustees first. This will give you, as a member, an opportunity to use the member portal before your members do. We will then roll it out to all employers in February on a staggered basis, with more employers getting access each week throughout the month. We will also send out another communication to members to encourage them to sign on and elect to have their statement provided to them via the portal instead of being sent to them by mail. I will now pass it over to Christine, who will walk you through the initial login steps and will provide an overview.
Thanks, Sandy, and good afternoon, everyone. I will start by reviewing how to access and sign into the portal. You will receive an email from the CAT plan that will provide you with your temporary password. You will be able to access the portal from our main website. There will be an option on the main page for the employer portal. When you access the portal, you will see this page. This is what the login screen will look like. Enter your email address and temporary password to sign in. After you've logged in with your temporary password, you'll be prompted to change your password. Enter your new permanent password and confirm the password, then click on Continue. Each time you log into the portal, we will send you a code that will allow us to authenticate you. You have the option to receive this code via text message or to receive a phone call with the verification code. Enter your phone number or cell number without hyphens and select Send Code or Call Me. Once you have received your code, please enter it in the box provided and hit Enter. Once your code has been confirmed, you will be signed into the portal. If you want to change your permanent password, you can click on Forgot Your Password in the sign-in screen. This will take you to the password change process. When you have successfully logged into the employer portal, you will see this screen that will prompt you to choose notifications and messages. Click on any of the processes shown here and you'll be subscribed for notifications and messages from the portal. This section is still a work in progress, so subscribe to the ones you want to participate in, and when this appears, you will start to receive notifications and messages as this is developed further. We will review the Portal Message Center in a future training session. When you have successfully logged into the employer portal, you will see this screen. Going forward, we will be referring to the employer portal as Pension Administration Link, short form PAL. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see a navigation sidebar. There are sections for the following items: the dashboard, find a member, message center, document center, member enrollment, change of employment information, termination of employment, pension application, pension estimates, and our help information. The message and document center are not available in phase 1, but will be available in future phases. Please continue to send email to the employer inbox with your employer and your employer PA. For all the transactions that are not yet available on the portal, you may continue to submit using SDoc. Okay, so now let's look at the dashboard. The main page of the employer portal will provide you with the ability to view the processes available on the left-hand side of the page. The portal will start with the dashboard page that will provide you with the option to find a member and view recent activity, transactions in process, and transactions sent to the plan. You can find a member using the quick search in the dashboard. You can also use the Find a Member tab that is available on the left-hand side of the screen in the navigation bar. You will see links to any important news from the plan in the dashboard. Here, we will provide you with important information that will constantly change. In the example above, we show a link to the employer's education session. If you click on the Button tab, you'll be brought to the employer education section of the CAT website. On the dashboard, you can view your recent activities done in the portal. You will also see transactions that you have started in the portal but have not been sent to the CAT plan. So if you started an enrollment or pension application and were not able to complete and send the transaction to CAT, it will show here as a transaction in process. And here you will also see all the transactions sent to CAT via the portal. Now let's take a look at how you can locate and view your members' data. You can search for a member in the dashboard's quick search section or selecting the Find a Member section on the left-hand side. You can find a member by searching by last name, first name, or SIN. If you search by last name or first name, you will get a list of potential matches to select from. Once you have selected the member you want to view, you'll be directed to the member's information page where you will see the member's personal information, which will show name, sex, date of birth, language preference, and CAT identifier, which is their MP. Please note that you will not be able to view the member's marital status, spousal information, beneficiary, or address information in the portal. You can initiate a pension application, termination application, change of employment information, or confidential pension estimate requests by clicking on one of the options as shown on the slide. Other information you'll be able to see are employment information and employment history. This information will show you the member's accrued pension information and total contribution information. The accrued pension amount will be calculated with data that we have on the system. If there is in-year data for the member in the system, it will be included in the accrued pension amount.
I will now walk you through the enrollment process using the portal. By submitting the enrollment via the portal, you can avoid having to complete and send the enrollment form to the plan. The enrollment information that is submitted via the portal will be sent directly to the pension administration system for processing. To start an enrollment, click on the member enrollment link on the left-hand side. You will start by entering the SIN of the employee you are looking to enroll and click Verify. The SIN should be entered with no hyphens. If the SIN is valid, it will proceed to the next step. If the SIN is not valid, you will get a message that the SIN is not valid and you will not be able to proceed with the enrollment process. The next step will be to provide the member's name, date of birth, and sex. If a member does not want to provide a sex, you would enter the value of prefer not to say. The next step would be to provide the employee's contact information. To process the enrollment, we only require the member's mailing address, but you can provide the member's email address and phone number if the member has provided this to you. Once you have entered the required information, you should see the fields highlighted green with a check mark. If you miss any required fields, the field will be highlighted red with a message stating what is required. Here's an example of an address with an incorrect postal code. As you can see, the postal code field is highlighted red with a message stating that the format is incorrect. The next section is the marital status section. Marital status is not required as the member may not have provided the information. There is a drop-down for the marital status. If the member is single, widowed, divorced, separated, or unknown, the spousal information fields will be grayed out. Married and common law statuses are not mandatory fields to be completed as the member may not have provided this information. You can provide beneficiary information if the member has provided this to you, but this is not required to complete the enrollment process in the portal. Members can update their beneficiary information with the plan. When a member registers on the member portal, they will be directed to complete any missing information and can enter the beneficiary information at that time. In this section, you would indicate if the member is currently employed with another CAT employer and if the member is already a member with CAT. If you do not know if the member is currently employed or already a member of the plan, choose No. If you select yes to either question, you will be prompted to provide employer information and the employment status with the other employer. The employment information section will ask for the employee group, which will be required for a college employer. It will also ask for jurisdiction of employment, the plan design the member is enrolling in, and the job code of full-time or part-time. Here you will also provide the date of hire and date of enrollment. Here is an example of an employee who is enrolling in the DB Plus plan design with a college employer. The final step will be for you to provide the employer HR representative name and date for the employer authorization. Here you can assign the task to another user, but it is not mandatory and will default to you if it is not complete. We will provide more training on assigning tasks in future training sessions. Once the enrollment process is completed, click on Save and you will see the message that the new enrollment process was successfully saved. After you have successfully saved the enrollment process, you will be automatically redirected to the dashboard of the portal, and you will be able to see the enrollment in your recent activity section and in the transactions in process section. You can also retrieve the enrollment you saved from the transactions in process section. When you're ready to send your enrollment to the plan via the portal, you will need to validate the enrollment by clicking on the Validate button. If there are no errors or warnings, you will see the message that the validation has passed and you can now submit to the plan. If you are not able to validate, you will be directed to where there are any issues with the enrollment that needs to be corrected. In this example, the phone number for the member was provided, but the phone number type was blank and needs to be provided. When you are ready to send the enrollment, click on the Send to CAT button and accept the terms of use and click OK. After you've clicked OK, you will see the message that the enrollment was sent to CAT and the portal will provide you with a tracking number. You can click Done, or if you require a copy of the enrollment form for your files, you can click on Download Print. If you click Download Print, you will see a PDF version of the enrollment form with the information that you have provided in the portal. This is not required to be sent to the plan. You will now see in your dashboard that you have sent the enrollment to CAT in the Transactions Sent to CAT section and in your Recent Activity section.
But now I'm going to pass it over to Marcia, who's going to walk us through the portal and how to enroll a member.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Marcia again, and I am from the Quality Assurance Department, and I will be doing a demo with you. So I will be, just to let you know, I will be using a test environment. So this is still, it's still being tweaked, but when you receive the go live environment, everything will be in its place. So to start, once you've registered and you changed your password, anytime you sign into the portal, you'll be asked to sign in with your email address and your password. Click on sign in. You'll always be sent a code, and then you text in the code. And then you'll be redirected to the dashboard. On the dashboard, this is where you will see all the different processes on the navigation bar on the left. And in the middle, you're able to find a member on the quick search bar and also be able to review the recent activities, transactions that have been that are in process, and transactions that have been sent to CAT. If you want to find a member, you can easily enter in a social insurance number. And you would see the search results below. This is where you would see the employment status, and then you can double click on this member and see all their information. You would see the basic information and ID, gender, name, and language preferred. This is where you could also start a process, and you can see all the processes that are applicable to this member at that time. I will start with the member enrollment process. To start an enrollment, click on member enrollment. You would enter the member's social insurance number. This is just to confirm that this member has not been enrolled in this plan previously. You click on verify, it will automatically take you to the page where you can start entering the information. If you enter the social insurance number, and the member has previously been enrolled, you will receive a notification. This member is already enrolled in a plan for this employer. So that's how you will know that this person is already enrolled. So let's begin. You would enter the member's first name. There's a middle initial and last name. The social insurance number is already defaulted into this field. You can enter the date of birth. And gender. Member contact information. Again, the email address, email type, phone number, and phone type is all optional. If you do enter a phone number, a phone type is mandatory. Have to be completed. You'll enter the member's address. Postal code. And province. And you'd also enter the language preferred. The marital status section. Again, this is optional. You can leave this blank, or you can actually enter the information. Enter single. All the other fields will remain gray, and you will not be able to enter any information. This is the same for widowed and unknown, as well as divorced and separated. If you enter married or common law, the fields will be open and you will have to enter the information. And spell check. Beneficiaries is again optional. You can leave this blank. Otherwise, you can enter information here. For this purposes, I will leave this part blank. Employment membership status. Is a member currently employed by another employer that participates in the CAP pension plan? If you answer no, there will be no drop down. However, if you do answer yes, then you will be directed to enter the other employer's information and the status at that employer. Is the employee already a member of the CAP pension plan? You enter no. Again, no drop down, otherwise yes. Then you should enter the other employer's information. Purposes, I will keep it at no. Employment information. Employee group, if applicable, by administration, faculty, or support. Jurisdiction of employment. Plan design. DB prime, the job code will automatically be defaulted to full-time. DB plus, job code is automatically defaulted to other than regular full-time contract. And date of hire and date of enrollment. At the employer authorization, you have the option of assigning it to someone else or leaving it blank. And again, if you leave it blank, it will automatically be assigned to yourself. So you can save and you'll receive a notification saying that you successfully saved the new enrolled process. Once you've done that, you'll go back, you'll be defaulted to the dashboard, and this is where you'll see it in your recent activities and your transactions in process. To open up the form again, you just click on the link in the transactions in process. And once you're ready to send it to CAT, you will validate to make sure that all the fields are completed and there are no errors. This is the validation has passed and there are no errors or warnings, and the transaction is ready to be submitted to CAT. Click on Send to CAT. Again, we are in the test environment. You accept the terms of use. Click on OK. And you'll receive a confirmation that it's been successfully, an enrollment process has been successfully created and submitted to CAT, and you'll have a tracking number ID. This is where you have the option to download and print, but you can also view the form that has been created. So this is the actual form that you should be familiar with that has been created. It will show the name of the employer, last name, first name, and SIN number of the member, date of birth, all the information that you completed on the portal. At the bottom, this is where it has your employer HR representative. The representative signature states it's submitted via employer portal and today's date. This is where you can also download this form and save it for your own purposes.
Okay, so again, I'd like to thank you for attending our training session. We hope you are excited to start using the portal next month. As a reminder, if you haven't already, please provide your employer PA with a list of all staff who will need access to the portal. And we need this list by the end of the day tomorrow so that we can ensure that all of the people that should have access will have access and will be provided with the login instructions on January 4th. And we will we'll be posting a recording of the session for anyone that was not able to attend, or if you'd like to go back and listen to it again or watch it. This concludes our webinar today. Have a great afternoon, everybody.